Aloha! Welcome to part 4 of Mega Man 4, and now we're tackling Big Bad Drill Man because, you know, he loves to drill things, and we can't have that. I'm sorry, my mind is in the gutter right now, as it always is, but you know, I'm not apologizing. Drill Man is a digger robot for a construction site. He has been given an award for finding a gold mine. Ooh. A good point? He's industrious. A bad point? He's haphazard. He likes rush jobs, and he dislikes calculations. Wow. So he's in a hurry. He's kind of like Quick Man, then. He doesn't prepare, he doesn't, you know, make sure things don't go wrong. He goes out of his way to make sure it gets done quickly and efficiently. Well, not efficiently, but quickly. Drill Man stage is fairly annoying, especially if you haven't gotten the skull barrier beforehand, because in this next area coming up, there are lots of falling boulders on all of these gray pipes with arrows pointing down. And so I would suggest turning to skull barrier for this part because these boulders fall ridiculously fast. There are also invisible lights and invisible platforms that don't show up until you hit the switches in the background, and you hit them by just running into them, basically. You want to watch where you are because there's a lot of bottomless pits. Those boulders hurt like hell. Make sure to turn on that skull barrier because you do not want to get hit. Believe me, you do not want to get hit. Which takes us to Big Bad Drill Man himself. Go figure, he has 3 drills on his body. So Drill Man buries under the ground, and then he tries to bury up from under the ground to attack you. So you constantly want to be on the move. Don't stay in one spot too long, or you will be drilled. And that sounds dirty. His weakness is obviously the dive missile, because it seems to be doing pretty good against him. If he's not drilling underground, he's usually throwing his drill bombs at you, and the drill bombs don't just pass you, they can actually explode on you. So, it could be a little bit tricky to dodge the drill bombs, but other than that, Drill Man's pretty easy to defeat. And by defeating him, we get the Drill Bomber ourselves! Drill Bomber is... Not many people know this, but you can actually set it off before it reaches something, so you could blow up something midway through the throw, rather than all the way. And we also got Rush Jet, which is a fun little adapter for Rush, so we can fly around. But now it's time for the big Head Honcho. We have to go talk to Dr. Cossack in his nice winter castle, which, you know. Anyone think he's been inspired by Russians much? I'm sure the name Dr. Cossack didn't give it away, but here's his castle. And it's also got some fine piece of music, if you ask me. But Rush Jet, if you're not familiar with Mega Man 3, was an ability that lets you fly around everywhere. You could go left, right, down, wherever you wanted, really. But in Mega Man 4, it only goes in a straight line. I mean, you can go up and down while you're going straight, but you can't, like, go back, you know? So they kind of toned it down because Rush Jet was a little bit overpowered in Mega Man 3. And, you know, I could see why. And speaking of Rush Jet, I would recommend using it here on this big stretch of land, big stretch of roof, because, you know, this place is filled with holes where robots pop out of. I hate those enemies. They're the most annoying enemies in the world. It's also filled with skeletons who you can't kill completely without charged shots, so just do what I do. Take Rush Jet, go the highway, and, you know, avoid all this danger. There's no need for it. I would recommend stepping off at this point so you can refill your Rush Jet, because you're going to need it again and again later throughout these castles. I mean, castle. We're not going to another castle. No, we're definitely not doing that. Here you can use either the balloon or the rush coil. It doesn't really matter, but you need something to get you up these high platforms. So, I'm a stickler for rush coil. I'll go with that. Now these ladders actually got me stumped the first time I played it, because if you touch the sides, those things that are climbing the ladders, they will hurt you. But if you're walking in between them while they're open, they're not going to hurt you. So basically, I would just quickly, right when you get to the next screen, Rush Jet to the last ladder, then climb up as fast as you can. It's pretty basic. Which takes us to Cossack 1's big bad boss. This is another drill robot that will try and burrow through the ground and destroy you. Now the drill literally destroys the ground every now and then, so you're going to find yourself without space to maneuver around eventually. Unless you're quick like me and kill him with the ring weapon. Blech. Basically, anytime his body dips down, you just want to hit him with the ring weapon, and it's pretty easy. That's it. Cossack 1 done. Which brings us back to the map screen, and now we've got Big Bad Cossack number 2. I've got nothing to say about that. I'm just saying. We're at Cossack 2. In this pathway, you want to take the right path, because the left path... I mean, it's not like both paths don't go the same way. It's just the left path has more, you know, enemies that you can easily get hurt by. And, you know, getting hurt is not my priority in this game. Refill your ring meter, or whatever meter you've been using with that thing. Just dodge the spikes, of course. And here's a section where you're going to need Rush Jet to get over the... Jesus. Dr. Cossack must literally have invested in spikes. He must have just had some lying around and just been like, you know what? Just lay them all over the castle. I don't care. Now these platforms have spikes on the end, but they'll only have spikes on either two ends. They're either going to be in the top bottom or the left right. And they keep switching every now and then, but it can be actually pretty hard to maneuver past these blocks, and the timing is pretty rough. So I just take the balloon and I skip all that completely. That way, you know, I can have a much easier time playing the game. Screw puzzles, I want to get through. But if you don't have balloon, make sure your timing is damn good, because, you know, those blocks are surprisingly... Jesus Christ. That's what happens when you make horrible jumps, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what happens when you put spikes in every room of every level in Mega Man 4. Jesus Christ. Nevertheless, Cossack 2 is not too difficult. There's a lot of energy tanks and health upgrades on the right there, but I don't need them. At least, I don't think I need them. Okay, I have none at the moment, but I still don't think I need them. Either way, here's Cossack 2's boss. And Cossack 2 is a series of platforms that connect into each other, and when they're connected, the laser red jewel thing in the middle turns on, and then it starts shooting at you. And there are platforms inside the machine that lets you reach it and shoot it. Pretty basic. So, its weakness is Dust Crusher. At least I think it's Dust Crusher. It seems to do a pretty damn good job, though, again, the thing I love about Mega Man 4, except for the final boss, every enemy can be killed with the Mega Buster. So if you're content using the Mega Buster and you don't want to waste energy, well, there you go. But like I said, Dust Crusher makes quick work of this guy, so it must be his weakness. If it's not his weakness, well, that's just a good weapon, I'll tell you what. Which brings us to Cossack number 3, and Cossack number 3 has a very unique level, I'll say. It's unique because I think this is the only level of its kind in the regular series of Mega Man games. Not only do we get the kick-ass music, we get a side-scroller. Yes, the screen is constantly moving, even though you're not. So you're going to have to keep up with the action, and even though this sounds ridiculously hard, believe me, it's not as bad as it sounds. If there were more enemies on screen, and more bottomless pits, and more spikes, maybe it would be ridiculous, but it's pretty tame. You have nothing to worry about here. Just make sure you don't run into those things that are circling the platforms, make sure you don't get shot. Try and refill your energy as often as you can, and don't look down, if you could. Which you can't. So you're gonna be fine. Cossack's castle is fucked up. But anyway, we're gonna be tackling Dr. Cossack and saving the world in Part 5.